Hello, this is a video tutorial for Un matin de printemps by Lili Boulanger. This is an amazing work written for violin and piano originally by this female French composer who unfortunately died in her early 20s about 100 years ago and who is now coming back to the concert halls. So we're going to listen to it first and then we are going to work on how to start learning this piece. And if you already know this piece and you want to perfect it, I'm going to give you some pro tips at the end. heard this incredible piece. I love the colors and the different textures that she creates just with the violin and the piano parts. Lili Boulanger wrote this piece at the end of her life, which unfortunately was very short, like we mentioned earlier. That's one of the reasons why she's not more well known, but she would have been one of the greatest composers of the 20th century. And I just love the fact that we are getting gems like this that we can still play nowadays. She rewrote this piece a few times. First, she wrote it for violin and piano, also for flute and piano. There are two versions of it. But she also rewrote it for piano trio, and later for full orchestra. And it's this last version that I think is the one she had in her head when she wrote this piece. And we will talk more about the different colors that we can get in the orchestra parts and how we can imitate it in the violin. But let's start by learning the piece. There's a few things that we need to really talk about, which is how to manage the different accidentals in the piece, the different scales. They're not major or minor scales, some of them are just modes. And it's important that we know which pattern of the fingers we are doing to be able to play this piece through without any problems. So we're talking about these scales. That first one already is not either major or minor. So it's important that we know where the semitones and where the tones. Now that's not a very difficult one, but it's a first one that we need to make sure that it's really in tune. Also, the rhythm is not the same rhythm here than when it comes back in the recap. So this is this rhythm. Later will be all in one go. So it is a different rhythm, and we need to make sure we do that right. We're going to go to the next one, which is nearly the same, but with an F sharp. And then I personally find it easier to start on a first finger most of the time, and then work out where the tones and semitones are. In this case, on the A string is all tones, so that is a different shade that we're normally used to. There's quite a few scales, especially at the end, so I'm going to jump now to the ending, because that's something I would probably do when I'm practicing it to start with. So I'm going to work from the end. I'm going to work from bar 1, 6, 4. This section has some scales that are the same pattern in a row. So we're going to work on those ones first. So one is 1, 6, 5. That is a minor melodic scale, so it's not a very foreign scale. Remember, this is a different rhythm. This is the same one that we have in 170. 172. And I think that's all of them. So those ones are all the same. Now in between, we have this other one in bar 168, which is... Now I'm using a completely different fingering for this, so I don't get confused when I'm playing it. I include a harmonic, why not? And the same for 174 and onwards, these are different scales. So I just played in first position because I found, after trying many options, this is the easiest. Same here. This is probably not the melodic scale, but backwards. So again, I find it much easier to find the pattern in first position. And then another melodic scale starting on a C sharp this time is an E minor. No, sorry, it's not. It's another scale, different one. It keeps on changing its mind, so it's really interesting to find the different colors from the different scales. So I will go through each one of them, and if you see the same pattern like I have with those ones, just try to do the same fingering, and as in you will understand the pattern better. Just the last one, 194 and 196 are major scales. Sorry, minor scale, but natural. And that is a major scale. And so those ones, again, just check the patterns. There's a couple more. I'm gonna start with the very last one. Again, it's a minor natural scale. So just find the fingering that is easy to get to the top. I find it when I get to fourth position, then it's just 1 2 1 2 with an extra finger somewhere. There is one more, which is right in the middle, where we have that in the muted section. And it happens twice. Either use harmonic or an extra finger in the middle. But mostly in third position I find this easier. And then since we're here, harmonic is just this note. I do it third position, first finger, so that then I can carry on in third position. I love this moment, it's quite special. From bar 68, this bit. Now we really need to listen to the different notes and the intervals, the distance between either if it's a tone or a semitone. And then here, whole tone scale changed to, and then each one of those scales, even that is not as fast, we need to have a very clear idea of what the pattern is and what fingering we're going to do. The bowings that are written in the music mostly are musical ideas and not actual bowings. For example, every time I have, it's quite nice to have that on an up bow. For example, bar 12. With a nice lift, and then here I do it all up bow, as written. Same for this. We don't need to do exactly what's written. Sometimes we can do hooked bowings, depending on what effect we want to do. And it's quite nice to finish it on a down bow. So if you are ready for this, if you already know all the notes and you know all the bowings and you're ready to work on how to play this piece, I would suggest first of all that you listen to an orchestral version of this piece. And this is a real pro tip. Because it will give you an idea of what different colors Lili Boulanger had in her head when she wrote this piece. It doesn't mean that it has to be exactly like that, but the variety between one section and the next section and how it keeps changing from one to the other is really going to help you. So for example, we start the piece with a flute. So in my head I think, okay, flute sound, what kind of vibrato do they have? Listen to it, try to imitate it. Then it changes changes to the clarinet, for example. A different sound. Then the strings come in, so it's a lot wider. And then back to the clarinet. And the different instruments keep on coming in. So we have these different textures, like they keep changing almost every 2 or 3 bars sometimes. The middle section, as in from bar 68 onwards, this bit. And in the orchestral version is full strings. And then it goes into a solo. So I think it's really nice that we can hear the different textures and the different emotions that either tutti or solo or different instruments can bring to the mix. Last pro tip for this: make sure that you understand everything that is written, as in every little word that is written. For example, matin or which means fiery and joyful. So for this section I was just playing. Or for example in 115, mysterious. Again, that's another solo violin moment in the orchestral version. Enjoy this piece as much as you can. It's not easy to learn, but once you know it, it's a real pleasure to play, because you can play out with all these different color palettes, different instrumentation within your instrument. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please remember to like this video and subscribe, because it will help you to find other music like this and other people to find this video. Thank you very much.